Florida ranks third in the U.S. for its homeless population, averaging around 98,000 individuals in 2022. This translates to roughly 40 per 100,000 residents. As of 2022, 12.7% of Floridians, roughly 2.9 million individuals, lived below the poverty line. 16.2% of Florida's children, nearly 800,000, lived in poverty. 10. Tallahassee. Tallahassee, Florida's capital city, grapples with a growing poverty and homelessness crisis. The numbers are stark. A 40% increase in the homeless population within the last year alone. This translates to thousands of individuals living on the streets. According to the 2022 Tallahassee-Leon County point-in-time count, over 5,700 people were experiencing homelessness on a single night. Poverty is another major challenge facing Tallahassee. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the poverty rate in Tallahassee was 16.1% in 2022, which is higher than the national average of 12.6%. 9. Fort Myers. Fort Myers' poverty rate sits at around 14.3%, significantly higher than the national average of 12.6%. This translates to roughly 44,000 residents living below the poverty line. The child poverty rate, for instance, is a staggering 21%. Fort Myers, like many other parts of Florida, has seen a sharp rise in the cost of housing, food, and transportation. This makes it difficult for low-income residents to make ends meet, and can lead to housing instability and homelessness. A staggering 40% surge in homelessness was reported in Lee County. This translates to over 4,820 individuals living without stable housing. 8. West Palm Beach. A city known for its pristine beaches and vibrant downtown, facing a harsh reality, a surging homelessness crisis and poverty. In 2023, the total number of unsheltered people in Palm Beach County reached 6,855, a 32% increase from 2022. According to the latest U.S. Census Bureau data, West Palm Beach has a poverty rate of 16.0%, slightly higher than the national average of 14.1%. This translates to roughly 18,800 individuals living below the poverty line in the city. The burden of poverty falls disproportionately on certain groups. Black and Hispanic residents experience poverty rates of 24.4% and 22.2%, respectively, compared to 9.1% for white residents. 7. Pensacola. Pensacola, like many other coastal communities, has experienced a surge in housing costs in recent years. This has made it increasingly difficult for low-income individuals and families to find affordable housing, pushing them towards homelessness. With estimates ranging from 5,000 to over 6,000 individuals experiencing homelessness across Escambia County, the exact number can fluctuate due to various factors, making it challenging to pinpoint a precise figure. Pensacola's poverty rate falls between 14.1% and 15.3%, exceeding the national average of 12.6%. This translates to roughly 8,160 individuals struggling to make ends meet. Women aged from 25 to 34, followed by boys from aged 6 to 11, and young women aged from 18 to 24, face the highest poverty rate. 6. Tampa. According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, the Tampa metropolitan area has the highest rate of homelessness in the United States, with an estimated 57 individuals experiencing homelessness for every 10,000 residents. This translates to roughly 16,000 people living unsheltered or in temporary housing. 1/5 of the homeless population are children. This highlights the particularly vulnerable segment of the homeless community in Tampa. Tampa's official poverty rate, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, sits slightly higher than the national average of 12.6%. This translates to roughly 63,500 individuals living below the poverty line. This rate hasn't stayed static. Data USA reports a slightly higher figure of 17.2% for 2023, while Census QuickFacts show a 12.9% rate for 2022, highlighting potential inconsistencies or changing trends. 5. St. Petersburg. According to a 2022 report by the National Alliance to End Homelessness, St. Petersburg has the highest rate of homelessness, with 67 homeless individuals for every 10,000 residents. This translates to roughly 19,000 homeless people in the area. While exact figures for the city itself are harder to pinpoint, the Homeless Leadership Alliance of Pinellas County estimates that St. Petersburg accounts for 46.3% of the county's homeless population. The official poverty rate in St. Petersburg 11.9%, slightly lower than the national average of 12.6%. This translates to roughly 31,300 residents living below the poverty line. The most common racial or ethnic group experiencing poverty is white, followed by Black and Hispanic residents. 4. Fort Lauderdale. The most recent official count revealed 20,054 individuals experiencing homelessness in Broward County. The homeless population in Fort Lauderdale skews younger compared to national averages. A 2019 study by the Broward County Human Services Department found that 35% of homeless individuals in the county were under the age of 30. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 14.9% of Fort Lauderdale residents live below the poverty line, which is higher than the national average of 12.6%. This translates to roughly 27,700 individuals struggling to meet basic needs. Poverty rates vary significantly across different groups. Black and Hispanic communities face substantially higher burdens, with poverty rates exceeding 22% and 17% respectively. 3. Jacksonville. Approximately 221,000 individuals in Jacksonville live below the poverty line, representing 15.3% of the city's population. Children are disproportionately affected by poverty. The poverty rate for children under 18 is 20.7%, nearly double the overall rate. Poverty rates are significantly higher among certain racial and ethnic groups. For example, the poverty rate for Black residents is 22.5%, while it's 10.5% for white residents. Hispanic residents also experience a higher rate at 17.3%. According to the most recent point-in-time count conducted in January 2023, there were 21,247 homeless individuals in the Jacksonville area. This represents a decrease of 55% from 2013. Orlando. Orlando's overall crime rate surpasses the national average by 109%, according to Area Vibes. This translates to 41.41 daily crime incidents. 22,258 people were identified as homeless in Orlando, a 5% increase from 2022. The city lacks sufficient affordable housing units, with only 13 available for every 100 low-income households. Orlando's current poverty rate about 15.2%, slightly above the national average of 12.6%. This translates to roughly 46,500 individuals living below the federal poverty line. 15% of children under 18 in the Orlando area live in poverty, highlighting a concerning impact on future generations. 1. Miami. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, as of 2022, 20% of Miami's residents live below the poverty line. This translates to nearly 80,000 individuals struggling to meet their basic needs. This translates to roughly 1 in 5 residents living below the poverty line. The poverty rate for Black residents is 23.3%, while Hispanic residents face a rate of 18.0%, both exceeding the citywide average. White residents have a significantly lower rate of 9.8%. As of 2022, Miami-Dade County has an estimated 19,355 homeless individuals,